This is going to be a brief look at the Battle of Algiers, which took place in 1957 and ends in October of 57. Here we see the capital port city of Algiers. It's a beautiful city. This shot is important for understanding the film, I think. You see in the center there the Casbah, Casbah, the Casbah, the old city. And as you saw in the film, it's sloping, it's narrow stairs, there's not space for cars. It's an old city. And you see surrounding it the European Quarter. So when something's happening in the European Quarter, you see big tall buildings, you see wide streets with trees and space for cars. These are very different spaces. So the checkpoints are along the perimeter of the Casbah. Some basics. And a reminder that atrocities are happening on all sides. The OAS that's referenced on the left there is something that develops later in the war. More so, it's the Secret Army Organization, as it's translated to in English. The OAS basically is a colon terrorist group that seeks to hold on to colon supremacy in Algeria when it seems that the French are pulling away from supporting the colon rule. And we can develop this in a later lecture. The film stars Saadi Asif, photographed here. He plays Hadi Jafar in the film. Saadi Asif was a real FLN leader. He's basically playing himself in this movie, which is which is interesting. The Battle of Algiers itself was a definitive victory for the French militarily. They crush the FLN, they drive remnants of it underground, they arrest thousands, kill thousands, but they shut it down. We will see in a later lecture that the repressive methods used in the Battle of Algiers and in the countryside cost the colons French support in France. Political support eventually, but initially French public support. And we'll develop that later on. The other piece that I wanted to note is this film really leaves out the fact that this is the war in Algeria it's a rural war. It's fought mainly in villages and in the mountainside, and the movie is just about this brief sort of blip, if you will, of urban fighting. It comes back to some urban fighting right in 62 when it's about to end, but besides that, this is the only case of urban fighting that's sustained. Additionally, a critique of the film could be that the film puts the conflict as a conflict between the FLN and the colon, who are assisted by the French, but leaves out the that is to say, the internal FLN conflicts of who would run the FLN and how. All of those internal fights are cut out. So we don't see the conflicts between the military and political wings of the FLN spelled out explicitly. However, we do see Ali Lapointe and others calling for revenge and escalation, and Hadi Jafar and Ben Mahidi calling for, hey, we need to run this in a deliberative manner, and that's as close as we get.